morning, dear hearts. We are on review lesson 58. Please subscribe. Now, just a side note here. We have 2 more review lessons and then we start new ones. And the first new lesson that we have, 2 things. One, it's a favorite lesson. And secondly, it's the first giant stride lesson that we will have. And so we'll talk more about that when we get there. But today's lesson and today's word, and there went Buster. Today's word is wholeness. Now, some might say holiness because truthfully the word holiness permeates these lessons. However, I like the word wholeness even more. They mean the same thing. If I am whole, I am holy. Indeed, I am. And holiness cannot but be whole. But sometimes the concept of being holy at this point in our learning seems a stretch and maybe not as relatable as it will be in the future. So right now, we'll interchange those 2 words. Now, first lesson, and I love all 5 of these lessons, and they're great. My holiness envelops everything I see. My wholeness envelops everything I see. I love that word envelop. I've mentioned it before. I can just envision like being wrapped into a beautiful spiritual tapestry and being held safe and secure by my Father. From my holiness does the perception of the real world come. So, if I'm not whole, if my mind is not whole, I am going to perceive everything from the source from which I am thinking. Thoughts don't leave their source. The lesson says, having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty, and I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me. So the important thing here is that I place forgiveness within my mind so that I will be able to have the ability to perceive this world from a state of wholeness in my mind. So the condition of my mind was always going to determine what I see. The second lesson, my holiness blesses the world. My wholeness blesses the world. And it says the lesson, the perception of my wholeness does not bless me alone. I am not alone at experiencing the effects of my thinking, of my seeing. Everyone and everything I see in its light and shares in the joy it brings to me. At the end of yesterday's lesson, we spoke about how, because the lesson says all living things. So everyone and everything, all living things are going to be seen in the light and will share that joy. In the original lesson, this is lesson 37, there is a line, and I like it a lot, and it says that those who see themselves as whole make no demands. And that's what we have to realize. When I feel as though I am whole, I'm complete, I'm lacking in nothing, that's also going to allow this light to extend out and fall on everyone and everything. The wholeness that I will see and the light that will touch everything, again, it's going to expand. Nothing is excluded, and it will indeed bless the world. As I recognize my holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see. We read that. As I recognize my wholeness, so does the wholeness of the world, because the world I want to see indeed is a whole world, the real world, and it will shine forth for everyone, all living things. The third lesson in our review, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. There's nothing that my wholeness cannot do. My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal because it is unlimited in its power to save. Where is this coming from? This comes from my source. This comes from God. This comes from Creator. Whatever word an identity with a big I, of course, that you want to give to the source of your wholeness, your holiness. It doesn't matter. But what is very important for us to realize is that all of the attributes that come with that, when we speak of God, we speak of source, we see God, and she's described as being omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscience, all encompassing. There is nothing that cannot be accomplished through God. And what are my illusions except false ideas about myself and about my wholeness? The last line in this review says, in the presence of my wholeness or my holiness, which I share with God himself, all idols vanish. What idols? Not a golden calf here. I'm talking about the idols that we have looked at in this world and raised to the level of idolatry, of worship. The things that the ego has given us in this world that we think are going to be the means for my salvation, for our salvation. It's going to be the means where I find my happiness and my freedom. Those are the things that will vanish when I have the realization of my own wholeness or holiness. The fourth lesson is my holiness. My holiness is my salvation. Reread that. My wholeness is my freedom, because we interchange salvation and freedom often, again, because they are synonymous in their meaning. I cannot have my salvation and still be imprisoned. So my salvation indeed is my freedom. And since my wholeness or my holiness saves me from all guilt, there's a lot of geese out there if you hear them, recognizing my holiness is recognizing my salvation. My wholeness recognize is indeed my freedom. It's also recognizing the salvation or the freedom of the world. When I am saved, I am not saved alone. We go hand in hand to our Father. And once I've accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. My wholeness is my freedom, and it relieves me from all of my fear thoughts, because all of my fear thoughts simply fall away when I have accepted my identity as being that of whole and or holy. And once I've accepted that, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding. We share one mind. So when my mind is healed to that extent, then all minds will be healed with me. My fear thoughts go away, and that is a gift from God that I will now share with all living things. And the fifth lesson for our review is I am blessed as a son of God. And herein, I love this line, herein lies my claim to all good and only good. God only blesses with the good. He doesn't decree and send damnation towards his beloved children. We are blessed as a son of God, and all good things are ours because God intended them for us. And I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. Again, the who I am rather than the what I am. My Father supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. His care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as a child of God. So we are protected, we are blessed, we are cared for, we are loved by our celestial parent more than we can possibly understand. We are safe, we are secure, we are sinless, guiltless, and perfect children of God. We are whole, holy, healthy, and healed, and we are lacking in nothing. And that's it for today. I hope this helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please pray. Buster's enjoying some dinner. We're praying for the awareness of our wholeness that we will get to share with all of the sonship, all of our brothers, all of our sisters, all living things. Namaste.